Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to today's Bitcoin update for Friday, 18 February. Hope you have a blessed Friday, guys. And here we are. I'm back into this chart reading pattern right now. So very quickly join me into the Discord. And if you guys are interested to pay $5 per month for the insights and for the signals as well, you can join me. So yesterday in the signal channel, I was given a Bitcoin insight that those cheeky bastards gave us two things, a bear and a bull pattern. Now the number one was inverse head and shoulders and a double top. Now neither has been broken and confirmed. Welcome to crypto, and Bitcoin already oversold in RSI 4-hour time frame. I don't see any further dumps, and this week is filled with suspense, not decision of bears or bulls winning basically. So we weren't making any decisions when it came to this line right here. So there's a lot of things to talk about. Now, first things first, what I meant by the oversold level on the RSI is, of course, Bitcoin actually just went all the way to the downside, and on the RSI you're absolutely oversold. Okay, the last time you oversold, it was back down here like this, and then you moved to the upside. Now this is once again you're making that oversold level, but perhaps to continue to the upside. So there's a lot of room to continue with the uptrend basically. And one more thing on the 4-hour time frame though, you can see you have a trend line that is being respected. One touch here, second touch here, another touch right there, right? And that's not the only thing, but there are some few more things that I want to discuss. Let's dive into the daily time frame right there. The crosses that we were about to get with the EMAs, of course the EMAs are lagging indicators. I made you very aware of this one, that when the price move, then the indicators actually move. When the prices go, then the indicators actually go. So don't rely on indicators that much, okay? They just give you a small idea, but that's not everything. So what's everything is that we're gonna use the leading things like the chart pattern. So you have the first touch right there, second touch right there, another touch right there. And in my opinion, this red candle that happened, this was overdue. This was actually pending. This was actually there. This was always there. This was always going to happen. We've been so much overextended. We were waiting for this pullback when we were up here somewhere. It didn't happen, and then it still went up there. I was waiting for that 40,400. I was calling it for the double top right here. That didn't happen. So what they did is they gave us this inverse head and shoulder. That's your left shoulder, your head, and this is your right shoulder. And then on top of that, they gave us the double top. Just look at that. And it seems like we're already breaking out of this, neckline right there. So what's the technical target of a double top if it actually to go and play out? So from the top to the bottom right there, that looks to take you to 39,307. That's the first thing. So the question still remains, if you do go to 39,000 like that, is it going to be a quick wick and then you come back into the trend line and don't close below the trend line? Because if you start to lose this trend line, that's going to be very bad. But anyway, whatever happened, I'm going to tell you another scenario where this might not be a double top, but there are some more things to talk about. Now, I'm on the daily time frame at this point of time. I'm going to remove this line right there, and right. So what we do is analysis, okay? Every single possibility right there. I made you aware about one thing, that this was your left shoulder, this was your head, and that was your right shoulder, and that technical target still never ever actually has ever been met. So this is where you broke out. $28,000 was a price that I was looking for previously. It didn't happen. We're actually reversing way more soon than expected, but this is how crypto really works. Right, so you do have the inverse head and shoulder, you have the Heiken Ashi flashing bullish, right? So let's go back to the Heiken Ashi candle, and this is how it looks like. Oh, right. So one thing I'm going to tell you about the Heiken Ashi is that it's making a decisive candle. Be aware of this one. That candle that you just saw is a decisive candle and not a bullish candle, because now you're having the wick to the downside and the wick to the upside as well. So we still have 2 more days to see what happens next. Probably next week we might start to dump to the downside if you start to look at decisive candle like this, because when this happens you might have some red candles to the downside. But when the time comes, we're going to talk about it. We have to still lose that daily trend line, this trend line actually, that is moving to the upside, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have a decisive candle and you cannot go up. Last time you had one was was up here, but you still went up, you still went up. You had one right there, but now you went down and down and down. And then when you had another decisive one, then you went down. But it's a little bit risky. But when you're still in a potential downtrend like this, it might make a decision to go to the upside. So it's a decisive candle. It doesn't mean downside, but it also could be downside. Okay, so we're gonna wait for that decision. Now the next thing is I'm gonna dive into the daily. So here we are into the daily, and I'm gonna switch into the normal candlestick patterns. So let's go back to the normal candles, and there's something to talk about the normal candles, because remember this yellow line that I used to talk about previously, where I told so many people that you had one touch there, one influence here, a few influences right there, one here, another one there, and then now look where you're finding support. All right, you broke out of it. All you did is like you back tested that yellow line. You're also supporting the trend line. So yes, there is a big support right now right there. I cannot say that everything is going to look bad necessarily. The inverse head and shoulder is also there, by the way. And let me tell you one thing about inverse head and shoulder. If it does come down to this wick, which you see right there, this dragonfly doji that you just saw, the red candle right there, this is nearly 39,688 or 39,722. Okay, so if it does Bitcoin does come down to 39,688 or 655, it's still a right shoulder. That's still okay. That's still okay, because it is the lowest point right there, and that's okay if you come near that lowest point. But it's not okay to start to lose 39,722. So what I'm gonna do, that's just the same way as saying that you're losing this yellow line again, right? And you're also losing this trend line that is forming up. That's just the same damn thing right there. And one more thing to notice is, since the patterns keep changing, this might not be the double top, but it might just be an extended ascending triangle. Let me show you this one right there. So do you notice how the price went up like this, came down, boom, and then you're going up, and then you're coming down, and then you're moving up potentially to 44,701, and then down, and then up, and then you finally break by next month, nearly 6th of March. So we do have decision coming in by 6th of March. It's still very early to say if Bitcoin is interested to dump, and in my opinion, people are getting bearish once again and thinking that we're gonna go to this place. Potentially we could. Nothing is guaranteed here, but the thing is, as long as you're respecting supports, support the coin. That's just the dialogue that I use mostly. As long as you're respecting support, support the coin. When you lose the support, don't support the coin. Simple. Yes, you're being resisted, you're being resisted, you're being resisted, but you're also finding support, finding support, finding support. Neither are the bulls winning, neither are the bears winning. When the prices go down, the bulls come in. When the prices go up, the bears come in. Now this decision, we're going to see who's going to win the final battle near 6th of March. And this, if this is actually a valid ascending triangle, if you break to the downside, you're going to go back to where you formed the triangle, and that's going to be $33,000, right? And if you start to break out of this place, you're going to go back to that $57,000. Who's going to win? We're going to get to know, and that's based on how we if we lose support or if we break through the wall resistance. That actually depends. And the way people are fearful into the market, the way we've been dumping for so many weeks, I don't know, we might just win and go to the upside. It's a big question mark, it's a big if, but allow yourself to be wrong. Allow yourself to actually flip direction. If you start to lose support, flip direction, completely destroy the trade. No need to actually hold on to something that is not supporting itself. And that's it for today's update. I'm going to see you with the next one. Allah Hafiz.